All right, ladies and gentlemen, Marco DC is here tonight. You are going to love the show. It's going to be grand. Now, I really want you guys to sort of say to yourselves, now, it's really good to be successful. It's really good to be powerful at some point in your life. It's really good to have everything you could ever want. But remember, you have to start somewhere, right? So if you are young, in your 20s or 18 or something like that, and you're watching my channel, you have to remember that it takes time. And some people luck out. Some people are really lucky and they get famous right away. And some people are maybe older and maybe need to learn this lesson as well. But in order to be successful, you can't just, you have to go through trials and tribulations. You have to start from somewhere, right? So you're not necessarily going to get there right away. And some people do, right? I'm not saying you won't necessarily. I'm just saying that sometimes it's harder than it looks, right? Like for me, I'm not a very I'm very competitive when it comes to different things, but I don't act competitive. I think that's where I get to the point where I get to be successful. I think for me, it's something I'm just very natural at being someone that can do well, but not necessarily in a competitive stance. I don't come across as threatening in any way, so people don't really see me coming or anything like that, or know that I'm going to be really big and famous one day. But I mean, you know, when you are someone that's really talented and you fight for your goals and you try to do your best and you really do a good job, and of course you have, you know, you're you have to be friendly competitive. You can't just be like, I'm gonna take this spot and I don't care, you know. Some people can be like that. Some people really can, and they get away with it and they do quite well, and they're able to. But for me, I like to be friendly. It's in my own way. I like to be a friendly person. So, you know, and of course deal with the consequences of being, you know, having someone try to be competitive. I've had that all my life, you know, so I'm not really worried about it, you know, but I mean, there are people that are doing quite well on YouTube and all that, but I feel like I'm really one of the best. Honestly, I really do. But I mean, that's just something that I've always had in me. You know, I've always been very lucky because I've been very talented, and I didn't really have to try really. But I mean, the thing is, a lot of the talents that I have now, I never really focused on letting them out until recently. So for me, I've always been someone that never really had music in my background. I had music in my background, of course. My dad's a performer, but my family, a lot of my family performs now. But I mean, I've never had the sort of like the opportunity where I'm just gonna compete to be a musician. You know, never really had that in me to really worry about that. So I'm very lucky to have the talents that I do have. And of course, you know, when you are super talented, people are very competitive. But for me, it's not a concern because I'm very friendly to people, and if they're very competitive, they might fall on the wayside. Not, I'm not trying to be competitive that way, but if people are very jealous or they get very upset. So, and I don't think anybody, I'm not blaming anybody for that or telling you that you're someone that's like that. But even if you're jealous of somebody else or you're trying to stop someone from being successful, the only way you're going to do that is if you become successful yourself and not really focus on anybody around you when you're doing it. That's what I do. You know, I'm very focused on being successful myself, and I don't really worry about anybody around me while I'm trying to be successful. Now, that's the beauty of YouTube, right? You could be really someone that's a nobody one day, and all of a sudden you're a total somebody. So it's really nice to have that as an option for people that want to strive for more and not really worry about getting a record label or anything like that. Some record labels will see you and they don't want to hire you, and you're one of the best, but they don't want to hire you for some reason. So, and if you don't have that much opportunity to get a record label or a record deal some other way, then you know, you could be somebody that's like one of the best in the world and no one's gonna know, right? But I mean, the things that are out now, the things that are available now, that are really good for people like YouTube and things like that, like they're really helpful to people like me because I mean, I could just do my own thing all day and I'm not really concerned with what's going on around me. So it's kind of nice to have that as an option. Now, anyway, I really want to encourage you guys. If you are striving for more, you strive to be the best, and you totally can be, let's say you can be, then go for it. And if you're on YouTube, you know, you have to do it in a way where it's easier, you know, it's much easier now. You can be somebody that's nobody and become extremely famous all of a sudden, and it doesn't have to be dependent on anybody else. You can do it all on your own, which is very, very nice. I'm very pleased to say that I've done everything on my own for myself. with all this glitz and glam and all this. So it's kind of nice to say that I've done it all on my own. I've had major supports in my life, of course, and that's how I've become so confident. The people in my life are really great, but I mean, yes, sometimes you have to say like, it's important to say, you've got, if I've got the supports in my life or whatever, but I mean, without those supports, I know I do a good job anyway. But I'm very lucky to have these supports. Obviously, actually, you know what? With the supports in my life, I probably couldn't. The people in my life are so grand. I'm actually really happy with them. So of course, I'm not really, I'm very lucky. Some people don't have those supports, so they might not be as lucky. But I really want to encourage you guys. Check out my stuff. Check out my channel. I've got 13,600 videos to explore. Lots there to see. Lots of fun for you guys. All right, totally enjoy. All right, and remember, if you're competing for something, I mean, sometimes it is called, you might be directly competing with somebody, but for YouTube, you don't really have to worry about competition, really. Anyway, thank you. Okay, bye.